these Medes will not regard silver or gold. I seen a clip the other day that showed all the graves they have already digged for miles, prepared for enemy casualties. This is Bible prophecy in the making. Read.
Verse 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms.
And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms. Read.
The beauty of the Chaldees' excellency.
The beauty of the Chaldees' excellency. Revelations 18. This links directly to Revelations 18. Babylon the Great, which we know is our dear America, that's made out of every nation, kindred, and tongue, with the beautiful music, the splendor, the light of the earth. America. Read.
Verse 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's the future. This is where we're going. This is what Ahmadinejad is being. Ahmadinejad, excuse me, I've been butchering his name all day.
I was doing yours yesterday.
This is what he's planning. Okay? There's a race here. You have Iran, you have Israel, which is really a state of America. They've placed Babylon in the Middle East. You have them together in a race to stop this man and to stop this government from fulfilling this prophecy right here. Read.
Verse 20. It shall never be inhabited.
And it says, it shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. We're going to show you what's going to be used to make it burn like Sodom and Gomorrah. So this impending war in the Middle East is going to go right back to America. And see, and that's the reason the scriptures are commanding the people to flee from out of those particular areas, to leave those areas based on this impending war. Now we know the 10 horns, which is Europe, is one of the 10 horns. Europe will stand until the second coming. This place, Europe, will be here. But Babylon, according to prophecy, the future is in this 20th verse. Read the 20th verse.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 20. It shall never be inhabited.
It shall never be inhabited after this war. When this war escalate and these missiles get shot, that place will never be inhabited again. That's the future. Okay, now you have to realize you have South American countries who are in league with Iran, who's in league with North Korea. You have Venezuela, you have Cuba. Read.
It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation.
That's the future after the Medes get involved. After the Medes get involved, this is the future. They have meticulously made what you would call a garrison around Iran, preparing for this war. They know that they knew this wasn't going to be easy. They strategically went into Iraq, strategically went into Afghanistan. Now they're at the pinnacle of the battle. It had nothing to do with 9/11. It had nothing to do with buildings falling. It had nothing to do with bad terrorists don't like the way we live. It had nothing to do with the propaganda ever again. Okay? And you know, the Arabians have their tents pitched all over the earth. But they're big in America, they're big here, but no longer will the Arabians pitch tent over in what we call Babylon. Absolutely. And a lot of them, based on the propaganda, are being squeezed. And as you know, and that, you know, a lot of them have to go back to their land. We know someone who have businesses there in America that's from the Middle East. You understand? And he was dealing with his business. He had to fly back because, you know, they was trying to freeze his money because he was taking money out of his bank account. So now through these new laws, if you're not in the country for a certain amount of time, they'll just freeze your account. Just because, listen, if he was from Europe, that wouldn't be a problem. But because he was from the Middle East, they got these new laws in place that's just making it hard for Middle Easterns to operate within some of these Western cultures, especially America. So a lot of these Middle Easterns are packing up their stores, packing up they're cutting their losses, and they getting out of there. The gig is up. It's over. It's finished. If you haven't received anything out of Babylon, you can forget it. The place is finished. Now, we're at a point now, and it's a decline. They have to bankrupt the world to put the world in what you would call financial purgatory, to keep you still. This is warfare. But I want to go into what will make this place like Sodom and Gomorrah, talking about the daughter of Babylon. So you have Obama, and you have the so-called Israeli state in an attempt to thwart this prophecy. Don't think they don't know the Bible. Don't think they don't know these prophecies. They understand it. Let's go to Isaiah 54, 16 and 17. Read it.
Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
The Lord says he created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. Now, when a smith is blowing coals in the fire, what are they making? What are they shaping? Metal. They're shaping metal. So man wants to take all the credit for the idea of these missiles. But it's the Most High that put this in mankind's mind to make for this time. We're going to show you this. Read.
Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
That bloweth the coals in the fire. Read.
And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
Here's an instrument that will be used to fulfill these prophecies written in the Bible. Read.
And I have created the waster to destroy.
And the Lord says he created the waster to destroy. Read.
Verse 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper.
But no weapon that is formed against the children of Israel, God's people, will prosper. So we don't fear these things that are coming. Read.
No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper. And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment, thou shalt condemn.
Let's go to Jeremiah, the 50th chapter. This is the prelude to 2nd Esdras 16. We're going into the war. This also, in Jeremiah 50, it speaks about the judgment of Babylon. All right? Jeremiah 50 and 14. Read it.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon.
So the Most High is now telling all the armies in the earth to put themselves in array against Babylon. That means put on your battle gear. These are your armies. Read.
Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow.
All thee that bend the bow. Now back then it was bow and arrows, but now they're missiles. Okay? Now because this technology was not in the earth during the prophet's time, they had to use the information or use the technology that was afforded to them when they wrote prophecy. So when they were shown things being shot, the only thing they could relate it to was bow and arrow. But now, they're greater bows and arrows. So these arrows are speaking of nuclear missiles, nuclear warheads. Read it.
Isaiah chapter 50, verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow.
All thee that bend the bow, read.
Shoot at her.
Shoot at her. Read.
Spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Most High.
Spare no arrows, because she hath sinned against the Most High. And Babylon epitomizes the word sin. It promotes immorality. See, we're not going to separate America from the so-called Israeli state of America today. They're one and the same. They just playing hot potato in the news and make people think that they are two separate entities. They are one and the same. The example I can give is the other day in the news, it was it was publicized through the news that Israel was buying some new stealth jets from America. Now, how can that be so? When the Prime Minister came out and said, yeah, this is what we're doing, we're going to purchase this. And then I heard on the American side of news that the money for these jets will come out of the financial or the finances of America that's paid to Israel annually. So hold up. Israel is buying weapons that they don't have to pay for because it comes out of Americans' money. So that was just propaganda. The whole thing they were saying there is America is giving Israel weapons to fight against Iran, but they got to play this thing to show people there's two separate entities. They're one and the same. They're no different. They're no different. They're one and the same. There's no such thing as an Israeli state. You have an occupation of America in the Middle East. Now, I know some people might think that what we're saying is anti-Semitic, but again, I say that what we say is not anti-Semitic, because if I was anti-Semitic, I would be against myself. I'm not anti-Semitic, and that's a false term, saying Semitic. It's Shemitic. We're from the seeds of Shem, and we're not against ourselves. All right? We're just stating the truth here. Read. I need you to go down to the 25th verse about these weapons here. Read it.
Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 25. The Most High hath opened his armory, and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation.
The Most High hath opened his armory, and hath brought forth weapons of his indignation. Read.
For this is the work of the Most High God.
So don't think that this is just politics here. What's going on is the work of the Most High God himself. Read.
For this is the work of the Most High God.
So don't think that this is just politics here. What's going on is the work of the Most High God himself. Read.
For this is the work of the Most High God of hosts, and the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left.
Read that again.
Come against her from the utmost border.
Read Jeremiah, right?
Verse 26, 50 and 26.
50 and 26. Go ahead.
Come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly.
And destroy her utterly. This is prophecy. Read.
Let nothing of her be left.
Say that again.
Let nothing of her be left.
Let nothing of her be left. Read.
Verse 27. Slay all her bullocks. Let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon.
So those that decide to flee and escape out of her before that will be looking at it and saying what?
To declare in Zion the vengeance of the Most High our God, the vengeance of his temple.
They'll be able to look at it and say the vengeance of our Lord is in the earth. And brothers and sisters, we put this out here today because you have a lot of people that are fleeing, getting out of that place, but they're deciding to go into Israel. They don't understand that Israel is part of this judgment. The state of Israel is part of this judgment. They tell you that the real people, when they're placed in the land will be brought back from the sword. What's culminating right now will hit Israel too, eventually. So there's no time to be fleeing from Babylon into Babylon in the east. That's not the place to be. Read.
Verse 29.
And I'm going to tell you, I put it out there yesterday. There'll be one safe place within the earth, to tell you in 2nd Baruch. And that's the wilderness. It's going to be in the same area the children of Israel resided that's being preserved till this day. That would be the only safe place in this earth when all this fire hit. When this judgment finally hit this earth, that will be the safe place in this earth. The same exact location in which the children of Israel were protected by the Most High himself. I tell you that in 2nd Baruch. Second Baruch.
Baruch.
Read on.
Verse 29.
Go ahead.
Call together the archers against Babylon.
Here it is again. The Most High is commanded in prophecy. Call together the archers against Babylon. Read.
All ye that bend the bow, come against it round about.
Camp against it round about. Go ahead.
Let none thereof escape.
And don't let any escape that's left there. Now I want you to recognize what's going on in the earth today that will stop and slow people from actually escaping this eventual judgment. They're pulling the money right from under the people. They're using the pretext or the lie of terrorism to place a border all around their own country. Then they're labeling everybody and anybody terrorists that will impede travel. Read.
Verse 29. Call together the archers against Babylon. All ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape.
Let none of them escape. Read.
Recompense her according to her work.
Now, she's going to get paid according to what she's done on the earth. That's the future. That is the future. You can't just go into countries, make countries third world countries, pillage all the resources, enslave the people, and take their livelihood and think that it's not coming back. Someone is going to sit back and prepare, knowing that they might be next. And you know who that was? Iran. Iran knew when they went into Iraq, when they went into Kuwait, under the first Bush, Iran knew it was time to start preparing. When they went into Kuwait with that first war under the first Bush, that was president, Iran start preparing. You don't do this all over the earth. And not only that, they sat back and watched the psychological warfare. They watched exactly how it happens, war after war. And they took memos. And they prepared. They didn't prepare for nothing else but what's about to happen. Read.
Recompense her according to her work.
Go ahead.
According to all that she hath done, do unto her.
Do unto her. That's the future. Read.
For she hath been proud against the Most High, against the Holy One of Israel.
Because she's been proud against the Most High God, the Holy One of Israel. Now, we don't hear about the Holy One of Israel today at all. We don't even know about the God of the Hebrews. You go to America, go to these other countries, you'll hear about every religion and every God on earth. And the Jewish people even tainted the Most High's name to trick people into worshiping Jabulon with the maid Tetragrammaton, which is the YHWH. They know that's a pagan god. So they have stricken the Most High's name out of the earth, and they're proud against the Most High. Made a society that perpetuates sin, witchcraft, evil. So now, it's coming around. Things are coming around now. Read.
Verse 30. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Most High.
And that's a warning. We were prophesying on the streets not too long ago, and we told brothers and sisters that are joining these armed forces, you better think of some alternative employment. You need to really examine and get some alternative employment. I need y'all to really think about this here. Because some people are going into the armies for education and for a better way, and there's nothing on the streets to do, so I might as well join. Let me tell you, that was all manufactured to get the poor into these armies. Let me tell you, this guy had graves digged for miles as far as the eye can see. There's no way you can win this war on foot. The only way they could actually deal with this country is nuclear, and they know it. Talking about Iran. Go to the 50th verse. Let's jump down to the 50th verse. Jeremiah 51 and 50. Read it.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 50.
Go ahead.
Ye that have escaped of the sword, go away, stand not still, remember the Most High afar off.
Read that again.
Ye that have escaped the sword, go away, stand not still, remember the Most High afar off.
That are they or these who are fleeing or who may have to flee on foot when this happens. Read it again.
Ye that have escaped the sword.
If you have escaped the sword that was sent on the country, read.
Go away.
Go away.
Stand not still.
Stand not still. Be ready to move from place to place. Like the Bible says, be like pilgrims in that day. Be prepared. Do not get emotionally attached to anything. Read.
Remember the Most High afar off.
And while we are afar off, the God of the Hebrews will take down Baal and Baal worshippers.
Christ was named Josiah. The Duskin Waller, Christian, Catholic, religions, any denomination, don't teach you the Bible, they don't teach you Christ, they lie on Christ. Read the Bible, King James Version, they lie on King James too. That's the only truth. And yes, Christ is Duskin while we're here. That means his people is too. That means Israelites is too. Jewish people are Romans from Esau. The real Israelites want to slave ship in the Maghreb, on the men, Deuteronomy 28:68. Christ's own name is Yeshua. That's Savior in Asian. He was an Asian. Israelites speak Hebrew. That's the Son, the Father. I am, Ahai Shahai, given to Moses. So that's the truth. Wake up. And there I got the 144 on YouTube. Everything you was taught in Christianity is a lie. Read the Bible. The Bible speaks nothing of any of that stuff. It's all pagan, satanic, Babylonian stuff and religions today.
Okay? He's going to do what he did to Pharaoh, but this will be done on a global scale. Read it.
Verse 44. And I will punish Baal in Babylon, and I will bring forth out of his mouth that which he hath swallowed up, and the nations shall not flow together any more unto him.
And no more will Babylon accept all nations with the Statue of Liberty. Bring me your poor, bring me your dejected, bring me your immigrants. No more will people be clamoring to get in that country. The glory of her and the pomp of her will fall. For the Most High told us to proclaim this throughout the four corners of the earth. Because it don't stop with her. Because after her, who comes next? Asia will be the next one that will fall. And you'll never guess who's going to fall after Asia. You're sitting in her. This is the chronological order of the fall after this war. And we're going to prove that. Let's get the one in Zephaniah. We're in Zechariah 14 and 12. Then after that, we're going into the Apocrypha to give you the chronological order on how this is going to happen. Read it.
Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Most High will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
So this is the plague in which the Most High will use against those that have fought against God's people all through the earth. See, Israel was scattered throughout the four corners of the earth and was not regarded as a people. And this has been for hundreds of years. For hundreds of years, Israel, God's people, have been ignored. But you know what? You would never guess who is looking down on his people the whole time, even though society have ignored them. The Most High himself. So this is the plague that the Most High will use against them that have fought against his people. Read.
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
What weapon can be used to make your flesh consume away while you're standing on feet? A nuclear blast. Read.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes as you stand. Read.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouths. Read.
Verse 13. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Most High shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor.
And that's the end result. Total warfare. Every hand on his neighbor, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. You had your hand up?
They showed it in the woman was broken.
They showed it in that movie Terminator. Exactly. Which, you know, you see the swing going around, the little seesaw, and then she was in the playground, she was holding the gate,
Yeah.
and it just consumed right off of her flesh. You can see her skull in her hands, her skull and her bones. That's a nuclear blast. That's the waster that the Most High had created to actually allow that place to be like Sodom and Gomorrah, ashes. And see, some people would like to say the Bible is not incorrect or the Bible is not true. If you go to these same places that the Bible speaks of, you'll see sulfur from the ashes and sulfur in the Sodom and Gomorrah today. The whole valley is packed with sulfur. It's as if they put the whole country or that area, that region, in an oven. Sulfur. I know y'all, you know, it's the American accent. Sulfur.
Brimstone. Brimstone.
Yeah. Read.
Verse 13. And it shall come to pass at that day that a great tumult from the Most High shall be among them, and they shall lay hold everyone on the hand of his neighbor.
And they shall lay everyone on the hands of his neighbors. See, when that first missile is shot, one missile will be shot after the other, like we went into a few weeks ago. But we're going to go into a little detail to show you exactly what's going to happen. Go to 2 Peter 3 and 9, and let's get the Apocrypha. We're going to get 2 Peter 3 and 9, and I'm grabbing 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. Because you have many countries that will get involved once that first fire is shot. You have Syria who will get involved. You have these Middle Eastern countries with nuclear capability. They will get involved. Read 2 Peter 3 and 9. Go ahead.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise,
And the Lord is not slack concerning his promise. Read.
as some men count slackness,
People think that the Most High is slack because judgment have not hit the earth at its fullest. Read.
but is long-suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the day of the Most High will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise,
That's a boom. Read.
and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
What can make the elements melt with fervent heat? And which element is on fire? Read.
The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up.
That's how you cleanse. That's exactly how you cleanse a situation. You can purify it with water, but you can cleanse it through fire. You can cleanse something through fire. And that's when the Lord says we shall go through the fire and come out like pure gold. It's talking about going through this fire that will hit this earth. Go to 2 Ezra 16 to pinpoint the countries that will be judged. 2 Ezra 13, and let's start at 34. Read.
2nd Ezra.
Hello. No, 15 and 34. Let's start at 15 and 34. I'm sorry.
Behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm.
This is talking about mushroom clouds. Read.
Verse 35. They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star.
When it says even their own star, again, back then, America's or the Western world technology was not founded. So what the prophets are seeing here is what looks like stars going from one place to the next. These are missiles being shot. You understand? Read.
And blood shall be from the sword unto the belly, and dung of men unto the camel's hoof.
Until the camel's hoof. That show you the region they'll be fighting. Camels are in the Middle East. Read.
Verse 37. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon the earth. And they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them. And then shall there come great storms from the south, and from the north, and another part from the west. And strong winds shall arise from the east, and it shall open it. And the cloud which he raised up in wrath, and the star stirred to cause fear toward the east and west wind, shall be destroyed. The great and mighty cloud shall be lifted up full of wrath, and the star, they that make all the earth afraid.
And they that make all the earth afraid. When it says the star, it's talking about the nuclear hit. I'm going to show you. Read.
And them that dwell therein. And they shall pour out over every high and eminent place,
All the high places in the Middle East. Read.
and horrible star.
And horrible star. Read.
Verse 41. Fire, and hail, and flying swords,
And flying swords. Read.
and many waters.
And many waters. Because what happens when a nuclear bomb hits in an area? It moves waters. Go ahead.
That all fields may be full, and all rivers with the abundance of great waters. And they shall break down the cities,
And that's showing tidal waves. Read.
and they shall break down cities, and walls, mountains and hills, trees of the wood, and grass of the meadows, and their corn.
It's in their grain. It tells you that in 2nd Ezra, it's their grain. Read.
Verse 33.
So right after the wars where the camel's hoofs are, you would never imagine where the battle will go next. Read.
And they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon.
And right after that, the war will go to Babylon. Read.
And make her afraid.
And make her afraid. Read.
They shall come to her, and besiege her. The star and all wrath shall they pour out upon her. Then shall the dust and smoke go up unto the heaven, and all they that be about her shall bewail her.
Now let me read what it says in the annotated Apocrypha, which is the English translation for that last verse. It says, they shall come, it says, they shall go on steadily to Babylon and blot it out. They shall come to it and surround it, like we read in Jeremiah. And thou shalt pour out on it the tempest and all its fury. Then the dust and smoke shall reach the sky. Mushroom cloud, that's what that is. And all who are around about it shall mourn for it, like we read in Revelations 18. And those who survive shall serve those who have destroyed it. So right after America falls, all power goes over to who? Asia. All power goes to Asia. Most people think that the Persians are original Middle Easterns, but they are actually Japhetic in the tense of Shem. They are Asians, the Iranians. They are Asian. But this is talking about they are family of the Oriental Asians.
So they correct when they say Asians over here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But they're in the tents of Arabia, so you think that they are the same families as Ishmael, but they're not. They are Japhetic families. They're not Ishmaelites over there in Iran. They're Medes. Medes are a family in the tents of Shem. They're Japhetic people living in Shemitic land. You with me? So now, when it comes to the stock markets and Times Square and all the little things we're used to in the United States, what country have mimicked themselves to be able to take the slack right after America falls? Asia. Asia has a Times Square. They have almost everything. They've mimicked themselves and likened themselves. China have likened themselves to America. So now the Bible tells you what happens to them next. Who will be next after that? Let's see. Read the next verse.
Verse 45. And they that remain under her shall do service unto them that have put her in fear.
Go ahead.
And thou, Asia,
See, it goes right into Asia, right after Babylon falls. And thou, Asia, read,
that art partaker of the hope of Babylon.
you partook in the hope of Babylon. Asia didn't create anything new. They just made everything, all the inventions of America, cheaper. And they invested in America. They bought America out financially by investing in America. They own a large percent of America. So since they likened themselves to America, but in order to do this, they had to lay down with the beast to do this. So now the judgment is going to go off of Babylon after Babylon is dealt with. The Most High is going to set his eye on Asia next. Read.
And thou, Asia, thou art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person.
And you are the glory of her person. You have made yourself just like America, a new industrial complex. Read.
Verse 47. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions.
And it says in her inventions, it says you have imitated. Look at what it says in the English of the annotated. It says, woe to you, miserable wretch, for you have made yourself like her. You have decked out your daughters for prostitution to please and glory in your lovers. The Asians at one point had honor. They were an honorable nation at one point. Not when America got a hold of them. They made themselves as Americans. Who's seen that movie? I like to always relate things to movies. Who's seen that movie, The Last Samurai?
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, the Tom Cruise movie. You need to look at that movie. You will see what they would call American progress against honor. Right? And it says here, you have imitated that hateful one in all her deeds and devices. Therefore the Most High says, I will send evils upon you. And right after America is dealt with, according to prophecy, Asia will be plagued on a high level. Now, this is the culmination of the second coming. We have to go through all this before Christ actually come and save us out of what's left. Read.
Verse 49. I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. And the glory of the power shall be dried up as a flower, when the heat shall rise that is sent over thee. Thou shalt be weakened as a poor woman with stripes, and as one chastised with wounds. so that the mighty and lovers shall not be able to receive thee. Would I with jealousy have so proceeded against thee, saith the Most High.
And now the Most High is going to tell you why he's going to do this to them. Read.
Verse 53. If thou hadst not always slain my chosen.
If you have not always slain my chosen. Israel was scattered throughout the four corners of the earth and was made to serve all nations. And while Israel served these nations, they received no rest. I went to Hawaii. I went to different areas, and I see that Asia have done to the Naphtalians what the European powers that came to America did to the Aborigines of America. So no one will escape this for treating the children of Israel the way they have treated God's people in this earth. Some people should not be treated as cattle. The Most High sat back and looked at this the whole time. These nations already had power. Israel lost his strength. But yet, they gave Israel no rest. So now the Most High says, oh, because you, read that thought again. That's key here.
2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 53. If thou hadst not always slain my chosen.
If you have not always killed my chosen, read.
Exalting the stroke of thine hands, and saying over their dead when thou wast drunken, set forth the beauty of thy countenance. The reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom. Therefore shalt thou receive recompense.
So now they get their payment. Read.
Verse 56. Like as thou hast done unto my chosen, saith the Most High, even so shall the Most High do unto thee.
Period. What you did to my people, now I'm going to do to you. See, and this happened before. Listen, there's no new thing under the sun. The Most High was sending plagues on Egypt. Pharaoh had a choice. He could ease up on God's people and let them go, or he could make them serve with much rigor. No, his heart got hardened. His heart was hardened, and he said, listen, I'll tell you what, now you have to build brick with no straw. Same thing. Same thing. These nations have destroyed God's people all over the earth. But yet, we'll point today to politics and say politics is the reason the earth is in the state it's in right now. We're pointing to the people, saying, listen, you all better figure out these people. You better find out who Israel is. Because this is why the Most High is angry. If you don't know them, you don't know what you're doing to them. So that's why we go into Israel, showing how Israel was scattered, why Israel fell, because the judgments are on the earth because of his people. That's the reason for the judgments. His people are being delivered all over the earth. They're waking up from the psychology that have enslaved them. They're waking up from the spiritual psychology and the spiritual enslavement that have been passed down from their forefathers. The Most High have a spirit in the work that's bringing again the captivity of his people. At the same time he's awakening his people, he's destroying the nations that have enslaved his people through time. And they know exactly. Let me tell you, I'm sitting here with a book right here. I pull out this book almost every week, brother. When I read this book, it blew my mind. I read this book 10 years ago, Lost Tribes in the Promised Lands, by Ronald Sanders. And if you get the paperback, a lot of the paperback, the new revised version, a lot of the information is out of the book in the new paperback. I got one of the original books, and I read this book, and it blew me away. Because this showed me that even in the 1800s, when they were settling from Europe over into America, there was word back in England that they found the 10 tribes over in the Americas. There was words in the 1800s on a scholarly level that the Indian tribes had Hebrew relics, had the 10 Commandments, had the fringes and borders of blue, had all the things that was contained in the Old Testament, and that it was fact that these tribes were from the diaspora of the 8th century BC. They knew this when they went over into America, but they reported back into England and these other areas saying that these people are savages. They must be tamed. Let's transfer let's switch the word around a little bit. They're terrorists. It was in the book. They knew. But instead of giving these people ease and rest and helping these people, they brought over religion. Let's draft a constitution and give the people a freedom of religion. Hold up. You already have religion. You're not giving people a freedom of religion. You're talking about teaching these people your religion. That's what you're promoting. Then you kill the aged and the ancient that knows better. You kill them all and you teach their children. This is what they did. When I read this book, it blew me away because they knew. And then they sat down with these Masons, whom we call preachers, and pastors.
I kind of want this a little bit. I might switch this up a little bit. It is pretty hot. A little more. Okay, I don't think I should turn this shit up anymore. What the hell? Just like I do. For today. Shower. Tonight. Are you preaching DBZ? So I can see my stream again? Finally. Shit, bro. That shit was good. Shit was glitching, bro. I didn't even see these comments. Oh, is it doing that bug? Oh, I know what it's doing. It's doing that thing to where I can't see anything. But I have views and my comments might be there. I was wondering, like, what is even happening? Okay, because I got comments. Preaching DBC.
And in America, during that same period, created a smorgasbord of religion. At this time, everything is springing up. Jehovah's Witnesses. You already have religion. You're not giving people a freedom of religion. You're talking about teaching these people your religion. That's what you're promoting. Then you kill the aged and the ancient that knows better. You kill them all and you teach their children. This is what they did. When I read this book, it blew me away because they knew. And then they sat down with these Masons, whom we call preachers and pastors, and in America, during that same period, created a smorgasbord of religion. At this time, everything is springing up. Jehovah's Witnesses, Lutherans, Mormons, you name it. They're springing up all in America. The boss that came over was Catholic. But you got all these different stems of religion.
Hour and 7 minutes.
Catholic. But you got all these different stems of religion. These different stems of religion that was aimed toward
7.
religion. You're not giving people a freedom of religion. You're talking about savages. They must be tamed. Let's transfer let's switch the word around a little bit. They're terrorists. It was in the book. They knew. But instead of giving these people ease and rest and helping these people, they brought over religion. Let's draft a constitution and give the people a freedom of religion. Hold up. You already have religion. You're not giving people a freedom of religion. You're talking about teaching these people your religion. That's what you're promoting. Then you kill the aged and the ancient that knows better. You kill them all and you teach their children. This is what they did. When I read this book, it blew me away because they knew. And then they sat down with these Masons, whom we call preachers and pastors, and in America, during that same period, created a smorgasbord of religion. At this time, everything is springing up. Jehovah's Witnesses, Lutherans, Mormons, you name it. They're springing up all in America. The boss that came over was Catholic. But you got all these different stems of religion that was aimed towards destroying that people who were the aborigines of that land. They were very spiritual people. They didn't need the religion that was coming. They were spiritual already. They understood the earth was fine, the animals were fine, but yet they didn't show these people any rest. They lied and called the people savages. Through time, the children lost their identity. That was the plan from its inception. The plan when they went to America, they knew. It tells you in this book, and Christopher Columbus Dialis, I went through it last week, that he used Second Ezra as the authority to know that the earth was round, to get to these Indian tribes that were over in the land. And I hate calling them Indian, because Indian means savage. That's the label that was placed on the children of Israel, the lost tribes of the diaspora. When I read this book, it blew me away. And guess what? Ronald Sanders. I pull this out all the time. Ronald Sanders, who is Jewish, compiled this information. Okay, I wanted to bring that out. So they didn't give Israel no rest. They didn't give Israel any rest. They used a Gatling gun against them, killing them, burning down their villages, moving them to plantations. It sounds familiar, don't you? That's what's going on in Afghanistan. That's what went on in Iraq. The same war. But back in England and back over in the homeland, they was telling people, yeah, it's progress. We got churches and hospitals. We got a way to care for the people. We're going to cure their smallpox. Oh, the smallpox you brought over to them in blankets. Thank you. Appreciate it. So now, I'm examining these wars according to prophecy, and that helps us understand all the goings prophetically in the earth. We understand the wars, why the wars are culminating. Go to 2 Ezra 16. The Most High is destroying this world for his people. I know some people don't want to realize that and understand that, but yes, he did it in Egypt, and he's doing it now. Nothing never changed. These things never changed. The Most High didn't just reject his people and accept it and say, listen, everybody is my people now. That never happened. The only way you can accept this God is to serve him and follow his commandments. And these nations will not follow his commandments. They refuse. So the Most High have awakened a small elect that will be a light to the Gentiles and give them the truth to escape what's coming. It's a very minute few that's going to make it through this. 2 Ezra 16:1.
2 Ezra, chapter 16, verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon, and Asia.
Woe be unto you, Babylon and Asia. Read.
Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria.
Egypt is going to get hit too. Egypt will still stand, but it will be hit. When I say it will be hit with a serious famine. It tells us in Isaiah, the 19th chapter, that the brooks or the waters or the Nile will dry up. The fires that happen over in Russia right now have been a strain on Egyptians' grain. I found that out the other day. So I'm looking at prophecy happen on a daily basis. And it tells you the Egyptians will fight against Egyptians. It will be total mayhem in Egypt too. But we know our eyes are on that one place the Lord said be when it's time. We're going to pass through, but it's one place we must be when it's time. Because Egypt has a judgment coming also. Read.
Verse 2.
And Syria. And Syria. Now Syria today would be ancient Assyria. Now notice these are all the places that have enslaved God's people. You have Egypt who enslaved God's people. You have the Assyrians that took out the northern kingdom. But eventually a large remnant of them went over the waters and came to what we call Ozareth, or America today. Read.
Verse 2. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Farewell your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand.
For your destruction is at hand. Iran, brothers and sisters. And there's nothing to gloat about. This is what's happening. They are charging up that reactor. And when this happens, it's going to be total mayhem in the Middle East when Israel decide to strike this country. They promised months ago. Listen, he said, listen, if Israel attack us, we will attack all the Middle Eastern countries that gave them place or forts to fight against us. So Ahmadinejad promised that he was first hit the areas of the Gulf Coast, the other Middle Eastern countries, first. Immediately, that kills the resources of oil as we know it, fundamentally out of the Middle East. So what happens to the economy that runs off of oil? What happens to the world? So what happens right after that? The whole industrial complex operates on oil. Everything goes up. Yes.
That's right. That's
Inflation is an understatement. You're talking about straight famine. Trucks can't ride without oil. Planes cannot fly without oil. Can you imagine what it will cost for a loaf of bread? This is the time we're about to go into. Read on.
Verse 2. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children, and be sorry.
Bewail your children and be sorry. Why?
For your destruction is at hand.
For your destruction is at hand. Your time is come. Y'all lay down with the beast. Now it's time to pay the piper. All these countries at one point was rich in glory. Read.
Verse 3. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away?
The Most High will plague the earth worse than he plagued Egypt. Read.
Verse 6. May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn away the arrow that is shot of a strong archer?
And the answer to all of these are no. Who can stop this? You cannot stop prophecy. Read.
Verse 8. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues. And who is he that can drive them away?
And who are he who can drive them away? The Most High Power's spirit is in this war. This will be the last war. This will be the last war. Read.
Verse 9. A fire shall go forth from his wrath. And who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence?
The Most High says the nations will be beaten into powder when this is said and done. They talked about the New World Order. There's not going to be anything to salvage in this world to make a New World Order. Read.
Verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth with waves from the deep, and waves of it are troubled. And the fishes thereof also before the Most High, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
See that? They will not miss. These missiles will not miss when they begin to be shot to the ends of the world. The nuclear hit's going to start in the Middle East, work its way out of the Middle East, then they're going to go out to Babylon. No arrow shall be wasted. Read.
Verse 14. Behold, the plagues are sent, and are not to return again, until they come up upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out, till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, returneth not backward. Even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. Woe is me! Woe is me! Who will deliver me in those days?
Who will deliver me in those days? The Most High God will. The Most High God of Israel will be the only deliverer in that day. This war is playing out to be an actual savior for God's people. Most people don't understand that. This whole thing, believe it or not, this whole thing could have been averted. The Lord says, if the wicked destroy the pledge and give again that he have robbed, and walk in the statutes of life, he shall live, and he shall not die. He surely shall not die. So there was an opportunity, but there is no opportunity now. Mankind have come too far. Mankind have come too far, and mankind is unrepentant. There is no shot that everybody just coming together now and say, you know what, let's just come together and get this right. The governments and powers of this earth are not willing to do what it would take for that to happen. They have to turn the earth over to the poor and step down out of their positions and go back to where they came from. That will never happen. Now, of course, there's a lot of little subplots to this. The mark of the beast, them taking money out of the system, bringing forth what we call the mark of the beast. This must happen. See, when they created money, this is what they had in mind. They didn't have what you're spending right now in mind. The mark of the beast, written of in Revelation the 13th chapter, tells us that no man shall buy or sell lest ye have the mark of the beast. This is going to be instituted in the earth before these wars culminate. So we do have a small amount of time. but not long. This must be instituted. And you know what? It's being instituted now. The banks are purposely bankrupting the world, making countries into third world countries. They've gotten humans used to getting things implanted in them. Implantable breasts, implantable limbs, implantable this, that, bionic people. Yeah. He opened up his door. I seen it. I seen that online. They're making it every day, like it's an everyday type of thing now with this chip. Like it's nothing, you know. People have had it, you know. Animals get it. It's not a big deal. But that's the whole deal. They're doing this because according to the Zionist doctrine, you are cattle. That's Goyim. That's all you are. You're cattle. There's no difference in marking you than any other animal. Okay? So these guys that are in control are not willing, these guys will not be willing to do what they would need to do to save this earth. Okay? This earth is not overpopulated. This earth could heal itself, believe it or not, if this industrial complex would stop raping it. But she can't be healed. Satan is in control, and the serpent people are doing their bid. I have one other thing to read. I just wanted to show you what will culminate, who will be used, and the fact that the nuclear missiles are in the Bible. Revelations 18 will be the last thing I'll read. And then after that, we can open it for questions and do our prayers and anointments. Read.
Revelations chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
Babylon the great is fallen, America the beauty will no longer be America the beauty. She's finished. And I know some people are upset out there about this because she's the glory or the light of the world. Not too long ago, I had a conversation with a guy over here, and he's a school teacher. We had a nice detailed conversation. And he had a little hope. He was feeling like, America can get Israel in check. He was feeling like okay, I understand that Israel is out of control, but America is going to check Israel. That's what they're making people over in Europe think. Okay? The banks own America. Period. The Federal Reserve is not even a federal corporation, a federal institution within the United States. It's a private company. You understand? And this is what's going on here. They own America. You have to realize these guys whom we call politicians are not voted in at all. There's no democratic system in America at all. Okay? Period. Barack Obama was born to do what he's doing, and they knew he was going to be president since the 70s. Period. George Bush lost the election twice. I've never seen an electoral system like this in my life. They make you think that it's the people with the popular vote making the choices. The rich, they can't put that into the hands of the people. They don't think you're that smart. We'll have to, work this out with the electoral college. So we'll put the votes in, but we'll let this electoral college tell us who the president is. No, count the votes. He lost the election twice and was still president. You know why? The reason? He was the guy that was going to institute the path to the mark. He wasn't the smartest guy in the world. That's what people might think. This guy played dumb on purpose. All right? He did exactly what they told him to do. That's very smart for him. Okay? Read.
Revelations chapter 18, verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
All nations have drunk of the wine of her fornication. She was made out of every nation and kindred and tongue. And at one point, you could go to that place and change not just your life, but generations of lives to come from your offspring. That was the place to go. Everyone desired to go there and be a part of this great glory called America. Read.
And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
All the kings have laid down with her. Now they're paying. Now they are all paying. Read.
And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
The whole earth got rich. All the kings got rich off of this this incorporation of the earth. They all got rich. Read.
Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven,
Now the Most High is speaking, saying what?
saying, Come out of her, my people,
My people that were scattered in that land, you better make your way out of there. Come out of her, my people. If you're down with me, move away from the wrath that's coming. Read.
that ye be not partakers of her sin.
There's no way possible you can live in that country and not sin. It's utterly impossible. It's too much opportunity to do wrong. And to do right is evil spoken of. Read.
And that ye receive not of her plagues.
Because if you stay in that country, you're going to receive the plagues, which are the missiles coming to that country. Read.
Verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven,
Her sins have reached unto heaven. Now the Most High can see her sins. Why? She have launched ships and made space stations in the heavenly realm. They have placed weapons in space. Why? What are you fighting? Instilling fear in the populace, making them think that space invaders or some alien is going to come out from nowhere. The alien they're talking about is Christ. Just space invaders. We got to protect ourselves from the unknown. You know exactly what's coming out. They tell you in the book of Acts, when they seen him float up in a cloud, the angel says, listen, don't be alarmed here, because the way you see him leaving is the way he's coming back. He's coming through the clouds. So now they're out in space. The Most High says their sin have reached into heaven. Read.
and the Most High have remembered her iniquities.
We forget, but the Most High never forgets. Because where the Most High is, there is no time. He's not subject to time or space. So it was just like yesterday when they started erecting all these Masonic, Canaanitish symbols to these different gods. I heard over in Rome, they got all types of things erected in Rome. In London, they got all types of things erected in London. America had built a whole city on Masonic principles. A whole city. Obelisks, 5-pointed stars, and not too far from the White House, they got a big statue referencing Albert Pike, a Mason.
Found with the KKK?
Yeah, the founder of the KKK. You know Albert Pike was Jewish? This guy was not an elected official. What are they doing with a statue in reverence to Albert Pike, a known sorcerer? This whole thing, that's why the Lord says it become a habitation of devils. What do they do in Masonic rituals? They do these rituals to allow these spirits to come through vortexes to be controlled within the earth. This is how they gain power in the earth with symbolism. Read.
Revelations chapter 18 verse 6. Reward her, even as she had rewarded you,
Go ahead.
and double unto her according to her works.
The Most High says double will come on her according to her works. Read.
And the cup which she hath filled to her, and the cup which she hath filled to her double.
Filled to her double. Some people might think or might ask, but why does America need to go through all these countries and continue the war? Why do you need to continue to do this? Why can't they just live in peace? They can't anymore. They have to. Too many enemies. If they just lay back, somebody will do something eventually. Read.
Verse 7. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, and mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire.
That's the future prophecy according to Revelations. And mind you, usually in the Christian churches, especially in America, it's taboo to read Revelations. Well, what is it doing in the book? If none of the preachers can go into it. No, we just need to read the gospel and the good news of Jesus Christ. None of that is important. That stuff is later. Read.
For strong is the Most High who judgeth her.
Go ahead.
Verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her
All the kings that live with her, read,
shall bewail her
they will bewail her. They will cry because of her. Why?
and lament for her, when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
They're going to see the smoke of her burning. Read.
Verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, at last, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
For in 1 hour is your judgment come. This is going to go down in 1 hour. Read.
Verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
See that? People are going to be upset because look how much money they've made trading with America. Read.
Verse 12. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thyine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and oils and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and the souls of men.
And the souls of men. People will be crying from all those things they're losing with America off the grid. And the souls of men, because nations come over to America just to take advantage of the people that's there. Look at all the stores that are from other nations and immigrants who come over just to get paid and bring money back to their countries. So that opportunity will soon be gone. Read.
Verse 14. And the fruits that thy soul lusteth after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, at last, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the companies of ships and sailors.
Now this is right here is how we know it's talking about America. You have some people that don't want to deal with the reality that it's America, which say that Babylon is a Roman Catholic Church. What ships is going into the Vatican? What merchants is trading with the Vatican? This is talking about financial loss here. Read.
Verse 18. And cried, when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, at last, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by the reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven. And
It's going to take 1 hour to deal with hundreds of years of oppression. 1 hour, finished. 1 hour. Now just imagine. Read that last part you were going into there. Go ahead.
verse 20. Rejoice over her,
The Lord says we now must rejoice over her. Go ahead.
thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets. For the Most High hath avenged you on her.
So now the Most High is avenging the prophets and the teachers on those who have oppressed the prophets and teachers. He's avenging them for oppressing them. Y'all see that? So these are all God's people. He's bringing these wars and destruction and takedown based on the oppression and the death of his people and prophets. Read.
Verse 21. And then a mighty angel took up a stone like a millstone, and cast it into the sea,
Go ahead.
saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down.
This place will be thrown down through violence.
What are you talking about this mic?
It was built on violence. It's going down
33.
through violence. Read. built on violence. It's going down.
There's nothing wrong with it.
It's going down through violence. Read.
And shall be found no more at all. And the voice of harpers, and musicians, and of pipers,
Some of the best musicians, and what else?
and of pipers, and trumpeters, shall be heard no more at all in thee.
All
Go read the Bible. Christianity and Catholic don't teach us the Bible. They lie on Christ. Their only truth is the Bible. Christ is dark skin, white hair. His name's Yeshua. He's the Son, the Father. I am, Ahaya, Shahaya. That language is ancient Hebrew, Venetian. That's the original Hebrew. Israelites, the real Jews, speak Hebrew. That's the Father's real name, given to Moses. Follow all the commandments, get baptized, and that's the truth. We're in war. Will end America. So, bro, wake up. Time and chance come to all men, so in judgment there's no excuse. Whether you're here for a bear, your judgment, your choice. You can ignore it and just be a programmed sheep and die like a fool and go to hell, or you can actually hearken and listen, get rid of your programming and follow the Bible, not Christianity. Because again, Christianity lied on Christ. They don't teach you the Bible. So your government is satanic, okay? They're Satanists. They sacrifice children. They're genociding people ignorantly. Politicians, they're all Satanists. So wake up and read that Bible.
that great American music will be heard no more. Read.
And no craftsman.
And it's in the Bible. And the Bible is real history. All the stories have been proven. Do your research. Do your research. And this is prophesying America being destroyed by Iran. And the Bible is real. Do your research. And if you don't do the research, hey, time and chance come to all men, so in judgment there's no excuse.
Whatsoever craft he be, shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be no more at all, shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived.
By your sorcery, all nations was deceived. That's what made us think that it was such a great place. We are under a spell. Yes, we are under a spell. And the Most High is going to snap you right out of it in 1 hour. It's going to take 1 hour totally. You have to realize how they did this in America to really get the people the way they are right now. A top Mason name was Walt Disney. And they used Walt Disney to influence the children to accept the Babylonian lifestyle that would soon be promoted all over the earth. Walt Disney, all his characters were made out of sexual organs. Excuse my language, but it is. All his characters was made out of sexual organs, but it's subliminal to where you can't even see it, but the artist actually started off with sexual images for every character. Walt Disney, he was a top sorcerer. They used him to influence the children to accept the world we have.
That's true. All these kids shows are satanic and program you. Then I forgot what else I was gonna say. But yeah, the Bible is truth, religions are lies, bruh. They don't teach you the real Christ. The Lord J didn't even exist. The false image of Christ you see on the right is Caesar Borgia. Do the research. Second son of Alexander the Sixth, the Pope of Rome. Gay homosexual, a murderer, poisoner, and all that. Pope's son. And the Lord J didn't even exist when Christ was alive. There was no J's, no words with J's in it, so his name couldn't have been Jesus. Then the Bible is translated New Testament Greek, so his name was never Jesus. Jesus goes into Zeus. Zeus is Satan. Zeus is seed, Satan seed. So you gotta wake up. Christ's real name is Yeshua, and he's dark skin, white hair. Christ said, "Believe with me," as the Christians have said. So read the Bible, King James Version. They allow in King James too. First of all, no holiday is in the Bible. All these holidays are satanic and pagan. You worship in fallen angels and demons if you're in these holidays. Follow all the commandments. Baptize and read the Bible, bro. No Christianity, no Catholic. They don't teach you the Bible. They're teaching you a bunch of Satanism and paganism, okay? They lied on Christ. They're not giving you the real Christ. There's idols, statues, engraven images, pictures attached to all religions, which is all sin according to the Bible. Because there is no cross, picture, or none of that. Those are not even real pictures of Christ or nothing. So, wake up.
Now, all these guys were top Masons. So, that's the future.
Our society is satanic, normalizes sin, debauchery, paganism, and our governments are Satanists. Wake up. Religions are all pagan and satanic. The Bible is not religion, okay? Because Christianity and Catholic don't teach you the Bible. Fourth century Council of Nicaea, 321 AD by Constantine, the Roman. Jewish people are Romans from Esau, by the way. The real Israelites want slave ships to America be saw in the men. Deuteronomy 20:68. Not Africans from Shem. We ran to Africa in 70 AD. For Jerusalem was destroyed by Romans to hide persecution. Those are real Israelites. Yeah.
Keep your eye on what's going on with Iran. If you got a passport, get ready to use it if need be. With that, we're going to say.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, society normalizes sin. Everything's satanic. The politicians all Masonic seats. You know, divide and conquer politics and all that. So people gotta wake up. Is that the end of the video? Alright. I'm gonna stream again later after I eat. But yeah, y'all gotta wake up and read that Bible. Iran war. No matter what the fucking propaganda, satanic lies they tell you in media and the news. And first of all, Epstein is the whole government too. They always try to pick a Fallout guy. That's the whole entire government. They're all Satanists, pedophiles, child killers, molesters, whatever the fuck it is. Satanists. They worship Satan. That's the government. So Iran war will have destroyed. The Iran war is going to nuke Israel because those are Romans over there. When the true people are in the land, as the Bible says, there'll be no more war in the land. Then Christ will return. So they're not the real people. They're Romans. Everything they do is against the Bible, not in the Bible. In Israel today, those Jewish people are Romans. You nuke them, then nuke America, and America, as the Bible says, Star of Babylon, extension of Rome, and Sodom and Gomorrah in Egypt spiritually. So, but wake up and get the truth before it's too late. Mark of the Beast, don't get it. It's a piece of technology that goes in your body. You can't buy or sell. Prophesy in Revelation to John on Isle of Patmos. You can't buy or sell. You can't have a house, car, job, or nothing. No more physical cash. Only online digital currency. Vera chip, FRID chip, something like that. That goes in your body. That's the mark of the beast. You get it, condemned to hell. You die of cancer months later. It's a piece of technology that goes in your body. So don't get that. Follow all the commandments. Get baptized. Follow the real Christ, Yeshua. Dark skin, white hair. Christ said, "Believe in me," as Christians have said. And 1 John 4:1 says, you must believe that Christ came in the flesh. That's the Spirit of God. So if Christ came in the flesh, he had color and he had people. Israelites, or the real Jews, are a people. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Jacob's 12 sons of the 12 tribes of Israel, not a religion. If he came down in the flesh, he had color and a people. So Israelites are dark-skinned people as well, not African. Ham, Shem, and Japheth, they're from Shem. Abraham's from Shem, so his real name's Yeshai, and he's the son. And the Sabbath is on Saturday, not Sunday. All these holidays are satanic. And the Father, he gave his name to Moses in Exodus 3:13-14. I am, Ahai, Shahai. Yes, they are different. It's the Godhead, the first family. Father, Mother, Son. Holy Spirit is the mother, she, as the Bible says. Wisdom, comfort, and all that. So wake up and you read the Bible. And I would watch them. I'm going to stream. I should stream later. But read that Bible before it's too late.